This video is in a response to somebody's comment, or so people's comment. It's actually not a comment from YouTube, I would say, but mainly comment from Facebook. I've gotten comment like, "There's nothing abroad. What are you doing abroad? Go back home and fix the country. There's nothing. It's just slave mentality. That's what you people have. Otherwise, they will not be abroad." I've just come to say, with this viewpoint of mine, we're going to then decide if there's something abroad or nothing abroad. I want you to understand that abroad is not for everybody. It's not everybody that will travel abroad. I've always said this. Some people, they're destined. In fact, even if they don't know, there are some people that even they are not even aware that they will travel abroad right as I speak. But by tomorrow or by next year, they will know and they will live, they will be abroad one day, either they like it or not, because destiny is destiny. And there's some people that want to travel abroad, but no matter what they do, they're not destined to be abroad. And there's some people who are actually not even interested. So it depends on what level you are, but let's see. I know there's nothing abroad apart from number one, there's electricity. Compared to some countries in the world, you don't have power interruption. You can have electricity anywhere, anytime, wherever you are. You don't have to worry. Sometimes we forget to charge our phones because we know that there's electricity to charge the phone, and there's Wi-Fi, all those amenities abroad. There's good health care. And usually I like to say that healthcare abroad in most countries like the UK, Canada, is almost free, as much as some people will argue that healthcare is not free because we pay tax because we pay immigration health surcharges, because we pay national insurance and so many other things. So many people will argue that health is not free in the UK, but I still stand on the point that health to some extent is still almost free, because personally currently I still work in dialysis units, and I worked in dialysis hospitals back in Nigeria. I know how much my patients have to go through, how much they have to pay, how much of their property they have to sell, how difficult it is for people to get dialysis 3 times every week. As at that time, it was over 35,000 naira. Back in 2016, I don't know how much it is right now. To afford to pay for dialysis 3 times every week, apart from the medications, apart from the injections, apart from the transportations. But as I speak to you right here in the UK, it baffles me when I discover that dialysis treatment, cancer treatment, delivery, you don't have to pay anything. You go to dialysis 3 times every week, and even some of my patients that cannot afford transportation, we transport them to the hospital. We give them all their injections for free, all their medications for free. All the appointments, we arrange transport for them. Cancer treatments are free. I'm not saying these are good things, but I'm just saying when these bad things happen to us and you cannot afford to pay for these things, so why will you tell me that there's nothing abroad? If you are abroad, I know some countries you have to pay, especially for like countries like the US. But at the end of the day, there are still some countries that you have benefits, or you're able to benefit all these things for nothing or almost free. You see what I mean? So if you're telling me there's nothing abroad, how can you convince me? Once I give you my own viewpoint, I hope you'll be able to convince me as well that there's nothing abroad, that we are teaching people how to come abroad or encouraging people to come abroad. Like, we're not forcing people. We're just, those who are already interested, we're just here to guide you, to support you, to make that decision, and, for your process to be easier. That's what we're here for. So if some people are then saying there's nothing abroad, I'm just bringing few points that I think you benefit if you're abroad. Another thing is education. As much as our education back home is very good, we are very education and academic conscious. Countries like the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, their universities or their schools are ranking, top universities in the world. Your children in most of these countries will go to school for almost free. until a certain age. They have good standard of education. You don't have to all be a doctor, a lawyer, or particular. You don't have to be a science student to be successful. I was in the gym with a lady who was on internship, and she's studying something, sports, something I've never even heard before. And there's tendency that when she graduates, she will find a good job, she'll be successful in her career. Unlike back home, I'm not putting down my country for any reason. I'm just trying for you to understand. Unlike back home, where you have people who do beautiful courses like geology, beautiful courses, come out with 2-1, come out with good credits, masters, PhD, and they're still looking for a job, they're still jobless, and then you're still trying to convince me that there's nothing abroad. Another thing you also see abroad is, the road is, even up to the front of your house is well, tarred. The security as well. There's a tendency that you feel more safe. I know there's gun problem in countries like the US and some other countries that are not safe. I'm not saying the whole abroad is safe, but I'm still saying that when you're abroad, you still have this small sense of safety. You still feel like, by the grace of God, you're not scared that somebody will, kidnap you, or, there's so many bad things that you don't have to worry about as such. I'm not saying evil don't happen. I'm not saying accidents don't happen. I'm not saying people don't die every day. But I'm just saying these are some of the benefits you will get if you're abroad. Another benefit of being abroad is your pension. If you finish, you've served the country for years, there's no tendency, there's no assurance that you will get your pension on time or accurately. You have to prove yourself, you have to go for screening, you have to do this. There's tendency that if you're abroad, if you retire, you're going to get your pension. And for some of us who maybe, if you don't want to live abroad, you're not going to be abroad for everlasting. Even when you grow old, and how some people are already saying, if you grow old, you regret, blah, 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 you should come back home. Even if you go back home and you've already worked in those developed countries, you get your pension back home. That money, imagine getting, say, £1,000 as pension. You live in a country like, let's say, Nigeria, Ghana. When you convert the money, it is tangible, it is enough to do, to live and be comfortable when you're back home. And again, if you then invest in countries like this, like abroad, you invest abroad and you go back to your country whenever you want to go back, that revenue, that rent that you're going to be getting is going to be good money when you go back home. Does it make sense? So these are some of the advantage of being abroad. Another thing is we travel and we learn every day. Being exposed to so many nationalities, when you travel out, you learn. When you travel out, you see things. Growing up, I never knew that it is possible. I remember when I was very young, I never knew that it was possible for one to have electricity 24/7, not generator, electricity 24/7 every day of the year, every month of the year, like forever, continuously, and NEPA or electricity will never go off. I couldn't understand it, although I was still very young, but I'm just like, it's a lie. It's not possible. They're just making it up. So you learn when you travel, you learn that, the world is not all about you. You learn that your culture is not the only acceptable culture. You learn that your ways are not the only acceptable ways. You learn that there are so many things in this world, and there are so many people and people who believe differently. So you just learn, like, traveling is part of education. I'm not saying you should come abroad. I'm not saying you should stay abroad. I'm just saying that, when you come abroad, you learn, you have the opportunity to learn and to see things, and you're more exposed. The way you reason is a bit different. If you look at most people that are investing even into, let's say, social media and, doing tangible things back home, most of them, if you research very well, some of them have been abroad before. They've seen that these are the opportunities they can have. And when they go back home, they're able to, use those experience, those education, and those facilities that they have. They're able to put it back into the society. Another advantage of being abroad is actually for the benefit of your children. You're giving your children the chance to decide if they want to, let's say in future you have your citizenship, the children have their citizenship, to decide if they want to continue to live in a society like, let's say, Nigeria, compared to when they have the chance, to decide if they want to spend the rest of their life in Africa, in Nigeria, or they want to live abroad, and explore those opportunities that you've created for them. They don't have to be the one who will then hustle and struggle towards, traveling abroad and, giving themselves and their children that opportunity. I'm not saying children at home are not going to be successful. I'm just saying you're giving your children more chance to decide if they want to spend the rest of their life abroad or if they want to spend the rest of their life back home. I hope my what I'm saying makes sense, just the way I understand it. You may have different opinion, kindly, respectfully, drop it in the comment section. Another thing is even the fresh air. I know somebody has commented and said no, people smoke and that, but even the environment alone, you're even living your vicinity, living your environment, and you're traveling out is a bit different. When when you step down, you're like, wow, this is different. Everything you learn, and is a new thing, a new adventure. So I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that there are benefits to living abroad. And I'm not saying there are no disadvantages as well, but there are also good reasons why some of us who have decided to travel abroad are abroad, and why we are still abroad, and why some people still want to migrate abroad. Although not all that glitters is gold, every place has its own advantage and its own disadvantages. Abroad has its own challenges. You're still going to hustle, you're still going to have to work hard. But I'm just saying these are some of the things you benefit abroad that you may not have at home. And some of you may have all these things at home. Different people on this world, we have millions, billions of people on earth, and with different opinion and different aspirations in life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please remember to click the subscribe button. If you want to speak to me, go to my Instagram account, drop a message, and I'll try to respond to you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video. Until then, stay safe, keep watching. Bye.